Hey guys, here is Gohan with his deck profile of Gravekeeper Demise, and he's been trying out this deck in Scrub League for a while, and you've been winning a couple of them as well.
Yeah, a couple.
Successfully ruining people's lives with your card Demise. Techies. How strong is the card Demise combined with Gravekeepers?
Combined with Gravekeepers, obviously, it's any back row deck obviously benefits massively from card Demise, and Gravekeepers is no exception. You play more back row than you do monsters. Most of the time you're just drawing, like, you know, monster 2 back row set, and you just benefit massively from it.
So it's quite good because it's a slow deck, isn't it, Gravekeepers?
Yeah, that's the thing. On the most part, I find that is what card Demise tends to benefit. Anything that's actually inherently slow and just relies on slowing your opponent down, that's the deck. That's the decks that card Demise generally benefits.
Okay, so we just start deck profile.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so we'll get the easy one out of the way first, which is play free Commandant, because you need Necrovalley, and if you don't have Necrovalley, you're gonna have a sad day.
Why is he Earth compared to everyone else?
You know what?
He's Earth attribute.
I wasn't part of the design team, but I'm not gonna lie. You have no idea how many times that really hurts you when you really want to make a key beetle, and every time you've got him as your second material, like,
and you realise it's Earth.
Can't make it.
But yeah, you need your Necrovalley, so
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
3 Gravekeeper Spy, the only way in the deck to put out more than one monster in a turn, and it's really slow. But that said, you do get a nice 2/5 booty off Necrovalley, so what can you say? I mean, you could potentially run 2, but like the fact it digs out your entire deck pretty much is like you can't really deny it. You can't really say no to it. It's just the only problem is, like, since they know you're playing like Gravekeepers, as soon as you set a monster, they immediately go, that's Spy. Even if it's not, they'll go, that is Spy.
Everyone will assume it is.
And whether or not it is, so you can say that's a benefit in the fact you can just bluff, you just set a random monster and they'll think that's Spy and leave it. But at the same time, like, Spy is such a threat that they'll simply use that Raigeki that you'd much rather they didn't do.
It's one of the few that special summons.
Yeah, because the problem is, obviously, because you've got stuff like Imperial Tomb, like, if you put up a face-up Necrovalley, you can entomb the Raigeki, but you set the Spy, they'll just immediately Raigeki it.
Alright, so next card is this one.
Free Recruiter.
Yep.
Because he grabs out Commandant, which grabs you Necrovalley, and if you don't have Necrovalley, you have a sad day. Also gets you in. Usually what you'll be getting is another copy of itself just to maintain resources.
Yeah.
Commandant if you've in some way lost your Necrovalley, or occasionally Descendant if you've got some random play you can make. But most of the time it's going to be itself or Commandant.
Free Recruiter.
And I mean, I imagine most people have probably played against Gravekeepers at some time or another, but Descendant, Recruiter, it's standard stuff. It's just free resources. Free Descendant. I've seen a lot of people play 2 Descendant, and that is something I'm kind of thinking about. It's just like in Scrub League, it's like a lot of time you get like long games and you.
So this guy, it's not even once per turn, right? You just pop cards.
Yeah, he's not once per turn. You just tribute off a Gravekeeper, destroy 1 card on the field. Yeah, I was considering cutting him down to 2, but the problem is what I find is because of the Card of Demise, what you find is you'll randomly draw copies of him, and he'll get discarded, and you do then risk that issue of suddenly getting into late game, you're going, oh, I need a Descendant, and you've already been through 2 because you've played 1.
Yeah, that's fine.
You've drawn 1 off the Demise that you then couldn't summon, so it got dropped to the grave, and you run out. So for now it's free, it's been working fine, so until it's causing me an issue, stick to free.
Okay.
Shaman.
This is sort of like one of the newer Gravekeepers.
Yeah, it came out around it came out at the same time as stuff like Imperial Tomb. Really good card, gets an absolutely huge booty off its own effect because for every Gravekeeper in the graveyard it gets an additional 200. You can summon it off Spy, but that doesn't matter because you will open it in your opening hand every time, so it doesn't matter. Its key effect is the 2 key effects that make it worth playing for me is you can't kill Necrovalley while it's on the board, your opponent can't destroy field spells with card effects, and while it's on the field your opponent's graveyard is essentially being dwellered, but only for monster effects. They can still use spell traps they can still use spell and trap effects in the graveyard.
Like break for skill and stuff.
In Scrub League where you have stuff like I think like Grados, I'm trying to think what else I've played recently.
Firehand, Ice Hand.
Fire and Ice Hand. Dark World, you don't actually have a great Dark World matchup, but like if you can put this out early,
it screws them over.
It stops them generating all the advantage off all their discards, so they actually run out of cards very, very quickly. But yeah, like a lot of it is like stuff like grade old. It's like it prevents being able to take you.
So just the one of that because you don't want to draw.
Yeah, you don't want to draw it, but you'll draw it anyway. So. One Assailant because the biggest you get in this deck is 2/1, an absolute max, and monsters exist that are bigger than 2/1, but most of the time their defense is not. So you just poke and you put them in defense mode.
Yeah.
Which is really useful.
He's at $2,000 as well when
he is, yeah. He is one of those monsters.
Anything 2k defense, 2k attack.
Yeah, he's one of those monsters you can actually set and bluff as a spy, and if they see through the bluff and they attack it, he still hits at 2k defense, so generally doesn't die. Which you can't say for most. A lot of time you set them there like 17 and they just die.
Was that all the monsters then?
Yeah, it's all the monsters.
Okay.
I'm slightly out of order here, but that's fine.
Alright. Yes.
Free Card of Demise. Gives you that incredible amount of speed. Numerous games where you're sort of down and out, you think you've lost it, you'll get into it, it'll give you the monster, give you the back row, and you can actually just claw your way back into it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's not without its drawbacks. I have had times where you've played it after setting your whole hand, including a monster, and gone monster, 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 and just
so you just end up negging.
Casually negged one. Yeah. But overall, I mean, let's be honest, it benefits a lot greater.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
It should help you out.
Most of the time, it will at least 1-for-1, and you'll get like an additional back row.
Yeah.
But, instead of setting this, you set a back row.
Free, of course, because
free, of course. Why wouldn't you? Pot of Duality, because you want to see Card of Demise more than anything. So this will dig you through your deck. Obviously, lets you see, lets you find your back rows. I mean, obviously, you got to pick and choose which back rows you're going to take. So some are like more worthwhile taking with your opponent knowing what they are. Like stuff like Mirror Force is like, I try not to take it unless I've got a good setup already, because when your opponent knows something like Mirror Force is there, they'll be like, I'm ignoring that.
Consistency as well, I'm guessing.
Yeah, obviously it means you play less cards in your deck, which is always nice. 3 copies of You Can't Play.
Yep.
In Scrub League, it's been proven very, very strong. A lot of decks have at least some kind of reliance on the graveyard. Blue Eyes. I've played against Chaos Dragons, which I'm not gonna lie, it was absolutely MVP. Just you can't play once on the board.
Even Grados have a couple of cards that can bring
and even when you're playing
random decks. Rave Raptors, they can't banish.
Rave Raptors, yeah.
A lot of decks.
Yeah, there's been times where I literally just like the fact you can't banish out the graveyard has just been beneficial. Not the actual can't move card, but just the inability to banish. Even if you are in a match where you can't block anything off because they don't have anything that gets blocked by it, like for example, Dark World don't really care overall. The only thing it really stops is their gates of the Dark World from banishing. But I mean, even then, you're still getting your boosts. So even if 500
is quite a lot, right?
it is, especially with stuff like Spy that has 200 base defense. It's like you just set it and it's gonna live. Honestly, like one of the things with the 500 boost on Spy, I've been finding a lot of people make Utopia Lightning against me because they can't use.
It's Armades as well.
My Recruiter doesn't activate, my Spy doesn't activate, but obviously Utopia Lightning activates once to clear one Spy, but once that's gone, you can just set a Spy and Utopia Lightning can't get over it. So you just leave it there. One Royal Tribute.
Yep, this card is
because if you open it, yeah, pretty much. If you open it, you have won the game. If you don't, I mean, they've clearly had something amazing in their hand. It gives
they have no monsters in.
Or they had no, even then you know their whole hand.
Yeah, so you know information.
You've cleared all the monsters, so you know you can just start beating face, and you know what their back rows are going to be if they have any. So basically it gives you, even without the discard, it gives you the knowledge of what you have to play around.
Yeah.
And that's like the key part of it, but yeah, especially if you open this, you win it. Even mid game, you just randomly draw it and like, oh, sweet. It's especially quite fun if you draw it and then you'll draw a monster and a random back row and you've already summoned. It's like, oh well, I've got a Royal Tribute, so I'm discarding this card off Card of Demise anyway. So
yeah, true.
Discard the monster. 2 Gravekeeper Stele because getting cards back is fun.
+1 on this.
Yeah, obviously, again, this is one of those cards where you draw your monster off your card Demise, but it's fine because you get them back later on with this card anyway.
Yep.
Generally using it for like recurring spies, recruiters, occasionally commandants if you've lost a Necrovalley you need to get it back. One of the
Descendant as well?
Descendant sometimes if you need to start popping stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of time it just sort of it keeps your monster flow going because you have like a low monster count.
Alright.
One hidden temple of the Necrovalley. This isn't one I was playing in Scrub League, but it's one I'm sort of testing out.
So this is a new tech you've added in?
Yeah, it's basically Vanity's Emptiness while you have a Necrovalley and a Gravekeeper, but in order for it to leave you have to either not control a Necrovalley or a Gravekeeper, but any of your other stuff can go to grave and it's totally fine. It prevents all special summoning except Gravekeeper monsters.
Yep.
So obviously that gives you the full freedom of using spies while your opponent can't special, and when you're already being locked out of a lot of your stuff by Necrovalley, it's a really, really strong card.
Yeah.
Testing so far, I've only played it in one Scrub League.
Yeah, you're playing against Dark World.
I was playing against Dark World, and Grapha kept popping my Necrovalley, and I kept losing it. But overall, it's not been too bad. I need to test it a little bit more. It might be something I end up taking out. I just want to test it for now.
Okay.
It's been good fun.
Have you managed to get the lockdown with that and the Shaman? And
I've not actually put out both at the same time yet.
Not yet.
Obviously,
okay.
you want obviously if you got like Shaman, that Necrovalley,
yeah, it's
like,
his
you
game.
You can't clear Necrovalley. You have to be able to clear the Shaman.
Yeah, it's insane.
One MST because overall you don't
just the one.
Yeah, overall you don't actually have to blow up back rows in this deck that much. So it's just in there in case you come up against a random matchup. I mean I'm going to keep mentioning Grey Dogs a lot in this video, I can tell, but so, occasionally...
We have so much fun games.
I mean, occasionally, you might want to be able to, like, MST like a Grey Dog Parasite, Skill Drain. Skill Drain especially, actually.
That card's really strong.
Skill Drain does cause me problems, and I think Grey Dogs are playing it, I think
they are playing
Dark World's playing it as well.
Yeah, a lot of decks can just...
Yeah, so a lot of decks can just play, and you need an answer.
So you're just playing one just in case.
Yeah, basically.
Alright.
Raigeki.
Yeah.
Okay. Tomb, it's
okay, you're playing free.
I'm playing free.
Okay.
Because it's Infinity Barrier. The only problem with this one is you can only play one per turn. You have to control a Gravekeeper monster and a Necrovalley on your board, but it will negate anything, which makes it amazing. I mean, it starts spell starts monster effects. So overall, once you've put yourself in the driver's seat, you're in control. You basically block off any kind of comeback with this card.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it ends up getting burned because it gets baited through Twin Twisters, but hey, you didn't get Twin Twisted, so... let's go with this one. Keep going through counter traps. Solemn Warning.
Solemn Warning, yep, of course.
Negate summons. I mean, I don't think there's really a lot to say.
Yep. Nice ultimate rare one though.
Yeah, cheers. 2 strikes.
Just the 2?
Yeah, I could play 3, but you've also got the 3 tombs, which also negate monster effects.
True. Yeah.
And obviously, with your warning as well, obviously it's a lot of life points progressively.
Yeah,
again, you have no way of gaining life back. So
yeah. So 2 strikes.
2 lose 1 turn. This has been putting in a lot of work. A lot of work. Again, like I said earlier, your highest stack is 21. And a lot of monsters are bigger than 21, but they tend not to have a huge defense. So with this card, as soon as they come out, you activate it, they go to defense mode, their effects negate if the turns, they're not going to do anything. Your turn, you just punch over it with something. Like, this deck really you don't do a lot, you literally just sit there poking them in the face. And this card really, really causes hassle.
Helps out quite a lot.
Yeah, it causes hassle. A lot of hassle.
Yep.
Vanity, I mean...
Yeah.
Vanity obviously just stop summons. There's not a lot to say with Vanity. It's Bottomless.
Yeah.
I find with Bottomless you have to be very depending what the matchup is. I mean, some matchups you can just burn it on whatever, but obviously some matchups like Dark World, obviously you want it for the
Grapher.
You want it for the Grapher.
Yeah.
There's just some matchups where there's a card you need to go out of place. You have to be wary. So a lot of the time I find when you're playing, it's like you're looking and you go, you could Bottomless something, but you're looking at it and you go, actually I can just answer it next turn, or I can set something that's bigger than it and it can't get over it.
Okay.
A lot of time that gets used on the lightning as well.
Yeah, I can save your spy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 Mirror Force.
You're playing the normal Mirror Force this
I am, because when I was playing it in Scrub League, I was borrowing this deck, and that was the Mirror Force that was in, so that's the Mirror Force I played.
Okay.
I'm planning on swapping it out for Storming.
That's the bounce one.
That's the bounce one. Mostly because a lot of the time this will get used on something like an Exceed or a Synchro.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly happy to just bounce it out of the way.
True.
Quaking is another option. The only thing with Quaking is with stuff like Lunar Lights in
Scrub League.
Scrub League, you Quaking them, they'll be like, alright, activate Poly, activate the effect of, and just fuse the things that have been pinned face down, so it's not a big issue. This is absolutely no use to me whatsoever against Lunar Lights when they put out the one that comes up a card effects.
Panther Dancer, Leo, both Panther Dancer and Leo.
Panther and Leo. Once they come out, I mean, Panther, especially Leo. Leo makes it very difficult to deal with. Which
Storming Mirror Force gets around.
Storming deals with it, yeah, exactly. Which is why I'm planning on playing it. But yeah, so Storming is basically because I've lost twice to Lunar Lights.
All right.
And then Compulsory, this is a card again I wasn't playing in Scrub League, but I've put it in. I mean, I might end up dropping the Hidden Valley, but
the continuous spell one.
Yeah, the continuous spell. This one I will be keeping in, but just because again it's like a really, really easy answer to Exceed and Synchros.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about them. They just go straight off the board. I mean, there's very rare times I think where I'd actually be compulsing a monster that will actually go back to the hand. I mean, there might be an occasional time when it's useful, either to bounce my own monster off a torrential or...
That's true, yeah. Resolve your spy that got chained or break through.
Stuff like that. But overall, it's basically, I don't like Synchros or Exceeds.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the main deck.
That's the main deck. Extra deck?
The extra deck is a little bit, like I say, I borrowed this deck initially, so the extra deck's a little bit helter-skelter, but I'll just sort of go through what's here. I mean, I can't necessarily offer an explanation massively, because like I say, it wasn't my extra deck, but...
Yeah, how often do you go to the extra deck, though? You said Master Key Beetle earlier. I think, so I'm guessing you go into that once in a while.
Once in a blue moon. I mean, most of the time the extra deck isn't used, especially because, you know, at some point lose one turn goes up. I mean...
Oh yeah, and it becomes dead.
One of the things I find in this deck is you have to be careful with stuff like Spy. And it's why I generally try to avoid special summoning Descendant of Spy. Because Gravekeeper monsters tend to stick on the board for a long time. And if you put it out, and then later on you draw into you lose one turn, you could be stuck in a situation where it's going to be a long time before you can actually get it up. Like a lot of time I find myself flipping my Spy, activating the effect, and then chaining the lose one turn before a special effect monster, before a special monster hits my board.
Just so you have
and then
live.
Usually what comes out is like a Recruiter or a Shaman, because Shaman would get its effect
next
by the end of the turn.
Yep, that's true. Okay, let's just have a look at it. Quick look at it.
Castell.
Yeah.
It spins stuff.
Yeah.
There are problems that you can't destroy, such as Yells.
Oh yeah. Well, that's if you get Storming Mirror Force, you can.
Storming Mirror Force, yeah. not when Stormforth just puts it in defense mode and leaves it. No, not sorry. Craig.
Yeah. Okay. So just there as a wall. Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Storming. The other reason for Storming was that match I played against Craig, game 1.
He's playing Shiranui Zombies, yeah.
On the stream, where obviously I misplayed it anyway, but like it was in that second turn where he put out the 3000 Shiranui and then put out the
Shogun Saga, yeah.
Yeah, and then he put out the Archfiend Zombie Skull. I was like,
oh yeah.
I have a Mirror Force set.
Can't destroy them.
I really wish I could play it.
Storming Mirror Force would have outed that. Okay.
Sometimes there are really big monsters and you want that attack. So this is a really easy way to answer, like big monsters that don't have a particularly threatening effect that would stop this. Just something you can beat over, you know. So
some damage as well.
You
do it.
Okay. Basically, it's the card you play when it's just a beat stick you want to clear, and where it's some kind of problem effect. There are graveyard effects I don't like, and sometimes I don't have Shaman on board.
Yeah. So try that. All right.
This was in the extra deck.
Interesting.
If I was pretending that I'd put it in myself, I mean, I don't know how useful this is in Scrub League, just because
Twin Twisters.
Twin Twisters doesn't target exactly one.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure whether or not this can activate in damage step. I think it can. So, I mean, one argument you could make is it can swap Gradle targets. You know?
Yeah.
And obviously, if your opponent does happen to be running the MST, I know some of them do, just because discarding is too heavy of a cost. You know,
So that
block
could
the MS turn.
stop the Necrovalley from getting popped, I'm guessing.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Wrong gummy.
I think you can also...
Can go, but not wrong gummy.
It's quite funny if you can swap the target for Dark Rebellion as well.
Well, give it attack.
So when Rebellion targets, say, your Karagorian, you just change it to like your Spy, who's really small. Utopia.
Yeah.
You never make this for the point of making this.
You never do. Sometimes you do, don't you? Stop attacks. Then next turn, make the obvious card.
Then you go through that. I don't even know what this does.
That's 2510 attack. It's legit.
Yeah, it's that one that gets like. It's that one that it's the one that gives itself an extra
attack twice. 2510, but yeah.
It's literally
obviously because
you're basically going to this. Basically, the only reason you're playing this is so you can use its effect twice.
Yeah. And you don't really care about the extract room because.
No,
you don't go into
I don't care about it. Honestly, you don't really care about it. This is about the only one you actually care about being in your extra deck, to be honest.
Yeah.
That maybe Stele.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is literally for
Armades on drugs.
It's just like it's only really in there for stuff like towers, really.
Ray Raptor, Ultimate Falcon, you mean?
Yeah. Wherein you can't get over it. Like there is no card in your main deck that will deal with it. So make something that will get bigger than it.
Yeah. Or Grados.
I was going to say, I wasn't going to bring up Grados because I keep saying
You keep saying Grados, yeah.
Yeah, but like any deck you're playing against where they have a lot of battle phase based effects, you obviously make this and start swinging.
True. Okay.
This gentleman.
Yep.
Evil Swarm Nightmare. He was in here, like, he's something I probably would play myself though. His effect is very strong. Especially if you go against like a pendulum deck. Just stick him out in defense mode. As soon as they pendulum, someone just detach and put everything into face down defense position.
Yeah, covering everything.
They can't do anything.
Yeah. And you need darks for it, so this is a dark deck.
Sometimes it's nice to protect Necrovalley, but very rarely, because most of the time by doing that, what you'll end up doing is taking your Gravekeeper monster off the board, which will make your tomb dead.
Counter trap card, yeah.
Yeah, your counter trap won't do anything, so it's kind of a waste of time. There were also these level 3 monsters in here for the absolute rarest of occasions where you have 2 recruiters on the field. I'll be honest, if I was building the extra deck, I probably wouldn't play them myself. But obviously, pops a back row, gives you a bit of a boost. I mean, you can maybe make use of that, and prevents itself from dying repeatedly. Honestly, I'd probably focus more on the rank 4 option. One thing I really do want to put in is Downer Magician. Just because quite a lot.
They're all dark, because you can just make it.
So I can make it with 2 spellcasters, yeah.
Yeah, 2 spellcasters.
So, so the key reason being that just it has piercing.
Yeah.
More than anything, it's like a lot of time I find in Scrub League, you look at it and you'll have been grinding the game down, and there'll be about what say 1,000 left, and they'll have their monster in defense mode. It's just having a monster in your extra deck that can deal piercing is nice. Heartland Draco again for similar reasons.
Directly, yeah.
Similar reasons. It's like you obviously got the Necrovalley, so it's not likely they'll be able to attack it.
Any of us there's a lot of rank 4s actually you can.
Probably what I'll do is once I've actually got a finished extra deck, I'll let Jam know, and he can sort of just put it in the description of the video.
I mean, I think this is not a 15 card extra deck, right?
No, it's like
it's a work in progress.
It's like 12 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally.
So you wouldn't play these rank 3s, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't play any rank 3s just because from when I was sort of working on it myself, off the list I'm trying to remember, I wouldn't have room for it at all. Like it would just all rank 4s.
Okay. So that's one of the Gravekeeper Demise deck profiles. Anything else before we finish the video?
Not really. It's been doing well. I mean, I'll probably play it for the foreseeable future unless it gets in some way touched in Scrub League, but the general opinion seems to be that it's fine. So.
Do you know any new techs you could put in the next sets if you've heard about them?
I've heard of. I probably wouldn't play it. Like maybe test it. There's a in the movie pack. There's a trap card that pulls a spellcaster out of the deck.
Oh yeah.
If it was a spell card, maybe I'd play it. But like as a trap, it's just a little bit slow. I can't remember what the activation condition of it is. I think it's like if you attack with a spellcaster or if a spellcaster is attacked. I think it's something along those lines. It pulls one out of the deck. So if it pulled one out in face down defense, maybe just because spy. Like one tech I'm kind of considering maybe testing. Like if I take out the continuous spell, I might test the one nobleman, which when it's from a battle by an opponent's attacking monster, it'll grab a Gravekeeper at your deck in face down defense mode.
So basically, spy.
It's basically it grabs you, spy.
Okay, that's one of the old decks. I think I'll probably play it. Okay. So anything else before we go?
No, I think that is it. I mean, if you want to play the deck, obviously it's outside like the Demise. It's pretty cheap to build in. Demise,
Solemn Strike though.
You can replace Solemn Strike though. You don't.
Yeah,
you
that's
have
true.
To play it. You know, if you're gonna drop Solemn Strike, I'd probably change it for like maybe like Corn of Heaven just to negate, because a lot of times
you don't like extra.
Yeah, you tend to be negating summons more than you be negating effects. Like effects are fine most of the time. Like, and a lot of time monster effects you generally have like other options for, like Bottomless, Compulse, stuff like that. Warning. Whereas like actual summons, like you tend to like that you need to stop, like say Black Rose for example, that you can't just compulse that. You can't just compulse that. You have to negate it. So probably something like Blackhorn if you wanted to try and build it on a budget.
Okay.
Really, the card Demise is about your only expensive card, and it's not that expensive relatively speaking.
Okay, thanks for giving us the in-depth explanation of Gravekeeper Demise.
No problem.
Let's go on there with you in who won Scrub League a couple of times with it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.
Bye guys.